I have been sitting here thinking about this team, and honestly, the outlook for our New Orleans Saints as we gear up for Super Bowl LXI is finally shifting from speculation to a legitimate path towards success. We are officially mapping out the road to the championship, and it is time to face the reality of where this roster stands after a transformative offseason. This update carries significant weight for our playoff drought, and there are two angles worth breaking down: the tactical shifts we are seeing and the long-term impact on our postseason hopes. The more this develops, the more it feels like a turning point we all need to watch closely. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and let me know where you are watching from in the comments. Let us dive in. The New Orleans Saints have finally charted a definitive path towards Super Bowl LXI, signaling a potential end to our frustrating 5-year postseason drought. After years of rebuilding, the organization is banking on the steady development of quarterback Tyler Shough to lead this transformation. GM Mickey Loomis navigated a patient draft strategy in 2025, selecting left tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. with the 9th overall pick before securing Shough at pick number 40. Shough defied initial criticism regarding his age and injury history by starting 9 games as a rookie, completing 67.6% of his passes for 2,384 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. And here's why that's a big deal. The front office and coach Kellen Moore have clearly prioritized long-term stability over impulsive roster moves. We have watched this team struggle through stagnant seasons, but now we see a sturdy foundation emerging with veteran running back Travis Etienne Jr. joining the fold. Etienne, who signed a 4-year, $52 million deal, brings a versatile skill set that complements the aging but legendary Alvin Kamara. Fans are cautiously optimistic, feeling a renewed sense of direction as our offensive line finally coalesces into a reliable unit under Moore. While the defense saw a significant turnover, the implementation of a scheme that propelled the team to 9th in total defense last year has provided much-needed hope for our secondary. Despite this progress, a lingering tension remains regarding our defensive front. While we saw 10 sacks from Chase Young last year, the reality is that we remain thin in terms of high-impact pass rushing depth, especially with veteran Cameron Jordan reaching his 16th season. Will this gamble on a patient, methodical rebuild be enough to topple our rivals in the NFC South this coming season, or are we still missing the final defensive piece? The most surprising development for our Saints this season is the bold decision to pivot toward a split backfield approach despite the significant 4-year, $52 million investment in Travis Etienne Jr. during free agency. This strategic shift stems from a desperate need to fix a ground game that ranked 28th in the league last year, averaging a meager 94.3 rushing yards per contest. Now here's the thing, the organization is banking on the idea that lightening the load for a veteran like Alvin Kamara, who will turn 31 this week and averaged only 3.6 yards per carry in 2025, will preserve his legendary production for the long haul. We recall successful years in the past when the team thrived by rotating backs with complementary skill sets. And the front office clearly believes that reuniting this type of dual-threat philosophy under Kellen Moore is the key to unlocking our full offensive potential. Behind closed doors, Gayle Benson and the leadership team are likely viewing this as a necessary insurance policy. While Etienne brings fresh legs and career highs of 58 receptions and 476 receiving yards from 2023, the coaching staff knows they cannot rely on one man to shoulder the entire burden against a brutal early schedule featuring the Lions and Ravens. It is a calculated gamble, but one that reflects a mature understanding of roster management. They are prioritizing balance over ego, hoping to avoid the stagnant rushing totals that plagued us last season. Even with the defensive improvements under Brandon Staley, we simply cannot win the division if we remain one-dimensional. If this tandem approach works, we gain a multifaceted weapon that keeps opposing defenses guessing on every single snap. It is a pragmatic, well-reasoned shift that aims to stabilize our offense while we continue building a sustainable foundation for our future playoff aspirations. With the landscape of the NFC South shifting beneath our feet, we must now turn our attention toward the practical consequences of these roster decisions for our beloved squad. And I cannot stress this enough. The stakes for this franchise have reached a boiling point after 5 long years away from the postseason. By securing a reliable veteran like Travis Etienne Jr. to complement the seasoned Alvin Kamara, We have finally addressed a glaring weakness in the ground game that plagued us throughout the previous campaign. This shift allows Kellen Moore to dictate the pace of the game rather than becoming one-dimensional, which is vital for the development of our young quarterback, Tyler Shough. When we look at the immediate schedule, having a balanced backfield is going to be the difference between winning and losing those brutal early season battles against tough opponents like the Lions and the Ravens. If our offensive line can provide the necessary protection for Shough, those mid-season contests against the Giants and the Browns suddenly look like winnable games that could define our playoff trajectory. Furthermore, our standing against division rivals like the Buccaneers is no longer a foregone conclusion. Because we have invested in a proven defensive scheme under Brandon Staley and bolstered our skill positions, we have the unique opportunity to reclaim the top spot in the South. The arrival of Jordan Tyson provides a necessary vertical threat that keeps opposing defensive coordinators guessing, forcing them to respect the entire field. While the road ahead is filled with challenges and the growth of our younger players remains a variable, we have undeniably built a more resilient, versatile roster than the one we endured with for half a decade. We are finally moving in the right direction, and for the first time in years, the path to the postseason feels realistic and attainable for this team. The decision to pair Travis Etienne Jr. with Alvin Kamara represents a fascinating gamble by the front office to revitalize our stagnant ground attack. By signing Etienne to a 4-year, $52 million deal, the team hopes to leverage his younger legs and proven versatility to complement the veteran presence of Kamara, who managed only 3.6 yards per carry last season. The upside is clear. A diverse backfield rotation could mirror the success Kamara found alongside Mark Ingram 2 years ago, providing Kellen Moore with a tactical nightmare for opposing defenses. However, the downside is equally significant given that we invested heavily in a position that often sees rapid decline. Critics around the league, including many analysts tracking the NFC South, worry that allocating such a significant portion of the salary cap to two backs might hinder our ability to address more pressing defensive needs. While some voices suggest this tandem is the missing piece for a playoff run, others whisper that we are simply delaying the inevitable search for a true featured back. And I'll be straight with you, the suggestion that these two will seamlessly split touches is a bit optimistic for my taste. Managing two players who both thrive on volume is notoriously difficult, and I suspect one will likely cannibalize the effectiveness of the other. What I really think is that while Etienne brings immense talent, the strategy relies too heavily on Kamara recapturing his former glory. If we cannot improve our efficiency beyond that 94.3 yards per game average, this expensive backfield move might look like a missed opportunity rather than a masterstroke. We need this experiment to work immediately because our schedule, featuring games against the Lions and Ravens, offers no grace period for an offense still finding its identity under a second-year quarterback. When we weigh the patience of Mickey Loomis against the rapid growth of our roster, the path forward for this franchise finally reveals a clear trajectory towards sustained competitiveness. This means the New Orleans Saints are moving away from the stopgap solutions of the past 5 years and are instead building a sustainable core centered on the development of Tyler Shough and our young playmakers. We should feel a genuine sense of optimistic cautiousness heading into this season, knowing that while the NFC South is wide open, the team has the coaching stability under Kellen Moore to capitalize on its potential. And honestly, it is refreshing to see a long-term vision taking hold after so many seasons of uncertainty. The integration of Travis Etienne Jr. alongside an aging Alvin Kamara, coupled with the potential of rookie Jordan Tyson to stretch the field, gives us legitimate reason to believe our offense can finally overcome the inconsistencies that hampered us in the past. Even with the defensive challenges of replacing veteran leaders, the scheme implementation we saw from Brandon Staley last year suggests the front office has a better handle on the identity of this unit than it has in years. We are at a turning point where the foundation is no longer theoretical, but visible in the performance of players like Quincy Riley. With training camp approaching and the excitement building, I want to ask you a specific question. Do you believe Tyler Shough will surpass his rookie total of 10 touchdowns in this upcoming campaign? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Who dat? I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to leave a comment below with your bold predictions for the season as we track his progress all year long today.